I've been in India for 22 years, nothing happened, and suddenly I'm in UK, and within the first 2 months, I see this dodgy shape. This incident was not the first time, or this incident was not something very new. Like this shit tends to happen. The building is built on a graveyard. Even if we went through, so we would always keep speaking a little loud, maybe keep our flashes on our phone.
So, Shoma, you are in London right now.
Yep,
So, how long
been
has
here
it
for
been?
10 months now.
Okay. So, you were telling me last night about an incident that you experienced at a graveyard near your university. What was it
Yes.
about?
All right. So this was back in I suppose February.
February. That means
Yeah.
this is October right now.
Yeah. It's been like 8 months, I guess.
Eight
Yeah,
months. All
about
right.
8 months.
All
Yeah.
right.
So I was going to my uni. I had classes in the afternoon. So um, what happens is when I leave my house, on the right there is a bus stop. Right. So I saw this like person in complete whites. For some reason, I could not see their face, but I guess I could see the glasses. It was like reflecting, and that person was in complete whites, and they looked a little old. Um, and I found that a little weird, but I was like, fine. I mean, there are weird people around. People have weird sense of clothing. Fair enough. Uh, I was on my way, and while going to my uni, the thing is, the best way to, or more efficient way to go to my uni is through going through a graveyard. That's like quicker. Um, so when I was like on my way through, just through going through the graveyard, I saw the same person at some other corner of the graveyard, and the graveyard had just one way in and one way out, like a straight road. Okay. So there's just one way, and I saw that person in one of the corners, and you have to be super quick to reach there because you cannot just jump over the wall. Okay. So and that person kept on looking at me. I mean, I could see the glasses.
So, wait a minute. I will just interrupt you there. I will just repeat what you just said in order to quickly make sure Jay, I understood what you were trying to tell me. So, while you
Yeah.
were getting out of your house,
Hmm.
you saw this person standing in front of your house.
No, in front of a bus stand, which is all like uh, 20 yards from my house.
Okay, 20 yards from your house. And then, how far is the cemetery?
Cemetery is about 200 to 50 meters.
200 to 50 meters you walk towards the cemetery. You did not stop anywhere in between.
No,
And you enter the cemetery and you see Jay, this guy is on the opposite direction ka corner.
not really. So let's assume that the cemetery is a rectangular shaped place.
Mhm.
Okay, and there is a way through the longer length of the uh, cemetery, just one way through,
Mhm.
and the person was in the other, like on the width, on the line that goes, that's a shorter one.
Mhm.
So the person was here and the entry is here.
Okay, so
So
there's no way this person could just overtake you and reach there before you went there.
exactly.
All right. So,
And
anything
they were
else?
just kept, and it just kept looking at me, okay, in a very creepy way. And I tried to make eye contact, and the next time, I mean, I saw it again was I was about to leave through the other gate. I saw it, like, let's say if I am here, the thing was somewhere around here, so I could see him here.
So,
Okay,
as you are about to leave the cemetery, like, think this is the
it kept
gate.
following me.
It was here.
Yeah, yeah. I
It was
mean,
here.
it was not close to me,
It was
but
far,
it was
but
on
it
the
was
same.
same side.
Yeah,
Same side.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And I felt like, wow, it's very weird.
Like, so you
And
saw it on the same day twice.
thrice. because when I was about to turn, I just decided to look back, and it was right on, like, there are fences, right?
Hmm.
So it was right on the fence and just staring at me like this. So that's the first and probably the only encounter I had with it. So yeah.
So after that day, you have not seen him or whatever
Or
that
her,
was.
no, whatever that thing was, no, I have not. Um, because maybe I have accustomed myself to the graveyard, because I have been there like at midnights and shit like that.
Okay, so another thing I want to ask, ki, how did you feel when you saw this thing? How did you feel? Were you
It
afraid,
was I was a little like, you say
creeped out?
spooked, creeped
Okay,
out. Yeah, creeped out would be a right term. I was creeped out. I mean, you can imagine, right? Like there is someone like you know the KKK.
KKK. Um,
Yeah, the white supremacists in America.
oh, Ku Klux Klan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So like imagine someone in that, almost in that attire, but
Hmm.
you cannot see their eyes. They don't have that cone-shaped head. Their
Hmm.
just head is covered like normal, and their eyes are like shining bright, and they're just staring at you, and you can see that thing is staring at you.
Okay. Any other weird abnormality with this figure? Like, was it floating? Was
Uh,
it maybe
I
translucent
couldn't
a
see
bit?
its feet. I couldn't see its feet. A bit of I mean, during my first encounter at the bus stop,
Hmm.
I mean, it felt like I could see through it. I mean, almost like a very opaque figurish. I mean, barely I felt like I could see light coming
Almost
through its back.
translucent.
Yeah,
Translucent figure. Okay.
yeah.
And what
But
happened?
the rest of the two encounters, I felt like, yeah, I mean, these are like proper like figures. Like,
Like the other two times when you saw it inside the graveyard.
yeah, it was like, yeah, in a proper shape. Like it was, you could throw a stone at it and the stone would hit it. I mean, it would look, at least it
It looked
looked
like
to
it
me
would.
like that. Yeah.
Okay. So something I got to know recently, uh,
Hmm.
actually not very recently. It was I think you remember I told you about this Hanuman Chalisa.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
asked you
yeah,
to
yeah,
read
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So there was another reason why I asked you to chant it. The possibility of an apparition or a paranormal activity happening in UK or in London or in Egham, because at that point of time you were in Egham. So it's very high. It's higher than what are the chances in India.
That's true. I mean,
Because
UK has done some horrible things in its past.
it's, yeah, UK has done some horrible shit in its past, but then uh, the things that people from there have done, it has not been over there. It has been in other places around the world.
Yep.
Like they came to India, they caused things here. Like if you go to Jallianwala Bagh, you will feel some things there maybe. Ki there are souls trapped in there or something.
Yep.
But then they cannot manifest here as much as they can manifest over there in UK or in USA for that matter, or anywhere which is more towards that side, because the electromagnetic frequencies, the electromagnetic currents, the waves there are higher than what you find in India. The EMFs there are much more stronger and much more powerful than what you find over here. So they can manifest better. Over here, you can sense things. You can like maybe feel a shiver down your hands, down your spine, goosebumps. You can feel that. But over there, the higher chances are you can actually see one because they can form figures out of it. Because these things are nothing but energy beings. These are energy particles essentially, because they don't have a figure, right? They don't have a human body attached to themselves. So what they do is they absorb these frequencies, they absorb these electromagnetic currents, even like electromagnetic currents from batteries from your phones or whatever you are carrying which has some sort of electromagnetic field, it can absorb and it can form. So over here in India, whatever happens is they mostly try connecting to those things only, कि बैटरी से चार्ज ले लिया, कि कुछ इलेक्ट्रिक का वायर वगैरह है वहाँ से चार्ज ले लिया. आई थिंक, आई इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग, दे आर एबल टू डू दैट. मगर ओवर
Yes.
देयर, over there the histories are like much more problematic. I don't think I can explain it to you properly right now, like, because even my research is not that in depth in this field. But then, as far as I got to know back in, I think I told you about this in May June,
Yes,
if I'm
yes,
not
yes,
wrong.
yes, 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 yes.
Around May June, that's about the time when I got to know about this thing. ठीक है, but I never knew कि you had already faced something over there, because the chances of you facing something over there is much bigger than you facing something over here in India. So
Yeah,
based
I
on,
have never faced something in India. I mean, I have been in India for 22 years, nothing happened, and suddenly I'm in UK, and within the first 2 months, I see this dodgy shape.
you saw this dodgy shape, anything else, like, have you ever felt a heavy sensation while you were coming back from uni, because you have been a frequent visitor of that graveyard, haven't you?
Yes. So now here's the thing. So most of the time when I went through the graveyard, I kept myself busy.
Hmm.
I mean, maybe I was talking with you guys. Maybe my parents would call me up, or I would call my parents up. Like generally, whenever I was passing through the graveyard, it was either early in the morning, so I would have my earphones on and listen to music, or in the evening when I'm probably coming back from work or maybe from the uni. So it's generally night time back in India, so they want to talk to me, maybe my parents, or maybe you guys, just anything.
Yeah, because there has
So
been many instances when you told me, Jay, I'm passing through the graveyard, and you have asked
yeah,
me to talk with you because you have been a
yeah,
bit creeped
especially in the
out.
early days,
Early days,
it was
yeah.
very scary. It was very scary. And also adding to that was the weather. I mean, initial weather. I mean, it was like this typical conjuring setup. Okay, like no sunlight whatsoever. Full. The sky is not blue, not anything. It's just gray,
A gloomy kind
and
of a weather over there as well.
yeah, it's quite depressing.
So if you think
And
about
going
it
through
like
that.
that, that has a psychological impact on you as well. कि
Yeah,
ओ
and
भाई
this
ये
is
तो.
why I started, like, keeping myself busy every time when I was going through the graveyard. Even if none of you guys were there, maybe I remember I told you about my housemate Ahmed.
Mhm,
So Ahmed used to be there, maybe like even like during our last few months,
mhm.
we used to go out at night time, to maybe have some food or just for a walk. And even if we went through, so we would always, like, keep speaking a little loud, maybe keep our flashes on our phones. So
Because did he
it was
feel
a
something
little
as well?
scary.
Did he feel
he
something?
he he was scared. I mean, he never mentioned any story to me, but he was scared. He
Okay,
was
so
scared of going
I
through the
think you can
graveyard.
ask him if he has faced something over there, because you said he only told you to like keep talking louder and like keep your
Yeah,
flashlight.
we
So
both like we both mutually agreed in a way.
like this
Shuman has had a few experiences. Shuman mentioned about a couple of experiences.
here in Kolkata,
Shuman, no,
like
not
he
in
faced it,
Kolkata. It was in
Shantiniketan.
Shantiniketan. So basically, his building, I mean, the building where his department is right now.
Mhm.
So it is built on a graveyard. It's literally built on a graveyard.
Okay, so
So
for people who don't know, Shantiniketan became the.
Shantiniketan is the place where Vishwabharati is there, is
Yeah,
temple as
so
the.
Shantiniketan became the 41st World Heritage Site that is considered by UNESCO, and
Yep,
the university, which is Vishwabharati University, became the first living heritage university.
exactly,
Yeah, so
exactly.
that's how the story goes. I just gave the viewers context about the university. Now you continue with the story.
So what they generally do, Shumon and anyone who is in that building, they try to avoid going to the building alone, especially if it's like past dusk.
I see.
So they happen to have a few events led by students and maybe with some guidance of their faculty. So it
Mhm.
generally takes them time to, like wrap things up at the end of the day. It generally goes past sunset.
Okay.
So they were once in this fourth floor, and I think their building has 4 floors only, like
Mhm.
from 0 to 4.
Mhm.
So they have always been suggested not to be on the upper floors
At
uh,
night, after sunset.
at night or after sunset from evening.
That's what
So
most places say. Don't go here, don't
yeah,
go there after sunset.
exactly.
But
So
then
now those guys just happen to be there.
like if there is an activity that is going on, that can happen at any time. It's not
Yeah,
proven ki only at night time the activities can happen. If there is an apparition that is to appear, if there is some paranormal thing that is happening, it is going to
I
happen at
guess
any
that's
time.
more like a psychological thingy. Like anyway, like at least in the daytime you can see everything. At the night time you can just get jump scared.
No, the thing is, at night, what happens is psychologically, we humans are conditioned in a way that we are in any way scared of the dark. So our
Yeah,
psychology is telling us कि कुछ ना कुछ तो है, despite the fact कि शायद कुछ
exactly,
नहीं है. ठीक
exactly.
है? So these entities, if there is something, they feed on our fears. If you are scared of
Yeah,
it will latch on to you.
yeah.
So the
So we are
best
like,
way,
like we are cooked right now and they just want to eat.
exactly. That is
Yeah.
what fear is to them. Our bodies have some sort of electromagnetic frequencies as well. Like there are currents that are being formed by
We are
our
like the
brain.
prey. We are like the prey. We become an ideal suitable prey for them.
Not everybody. Not
I mean,
everybody.
the ones who are scared, the ones who are
Like
like scared and shitting themselves,
there are
shitting their
people
pants.
who are shielded as well. Like
Okay.
they don't need any external protection. They just maybe meditate. They just maybe have
Hmm.
a spiritual background. Maybe their forefathers used to meditate, and that those energies, okay,
Have
when
passed on
have
to them.
passed on to them. So they
Yeah,
are
fair.
naturally shielded. Some people. I want Shumon to come over here and tell his personal experience about this story. But you can give me a
I
gist of
think
what
he
happened.
would be a very good, like,
Storyteller,
yeah, because he has personally faced that thing. So,
obviously.
anyway,
But
so
then
what?
the gist of it you can give me.
Yeah, so basically, I mean, I will just talk about that particular incident, the building wala. So they were just like preparing for all these things, and it went past midnight, and they were on the fourth floor, and they were all in one particular room, classroom, you can say, and they could hear bangings on the door next, like massive bangings, like so,
On the
bangings
next door,
like
in the
some,
sense, on the
as
door of
in
the
the
next
class,
classroom?
other
Next
classroom, okay.
okay.
And then they could hear like benches and chairs being like pushed all around, right? So that happened
Okay, that sounds like a poltergeist activity.
in it,
Yeah.
and they just heard those bangings, and like they could hear, like it was almost like a movie thingy, that
Mhm.
they heard the bangings starting from the classroom opposite to them,
Mhm.
and it felt like it was just going through, and it was coming through the other end, like it was making a turn towards them,
I
and
can
that is
understand. It's very spooky.
yeah,
How many
yeah,
of them were
the
there?
bang, they were like around, I guess I would say 6 to 7, maybe more or less. I mean, I can be wrong, but
All of them
roughly,
heard it.
yeah. All of them heard it. Like they
Did they go?
confirmed to each other.
Did they
Like,
try to check what it was, where this bangings was coming from?
no, not really, because apparently this is not this incident was not the first time, or this incident was not something very new. Like this shit tends
Mhm.
to happen. Like this is why
So they were
they
also shit scared
everybody,
to go and check or something
yeah,
like that.
yeah. The classrooms were anyway locked. That was the only room that was open,
So this was,
unlocked.
and you're telling me this is not the only incident he has faced. He has faced
No,
more.
there have been more, and I think bringing Shumon in would be a good idea. So
You just
yeah,
gave me more content, bro. I am going to
I
bring
know,
more.
right?
Like, has there been
Okay, I look.
instances of suicides over there?
It's just a graveyard, isn't it? And also, it's a university, so you never
There's a
know.
graveyard as well over there. Like personally, I have
The
not been to Shantiniketan.
the building is built on a graveyard.
Oh, I did not know that. I did not know that.
Yeah,
Like
I
this might
mentioned it.
this might come as a surprise to some people because since we are Bengalis, but I have never been to Shantiniketan. Like most
Oh,
people have this strong connection. "Yeah, by Shantiniketan to Vishal bhalo jagah, you have to go there."
yeah.
But then I never felt that connection towards Shantiniketan. Yeah, as if that place is calling on to me.
Part
But
of our
then now
heritage.
that you are telling me things like this, I feel like visiting.
The-
That was a very nice story from you. I'm just going to end this. This was supposed to be a storytelling session, so I should tell a story of my own as well. So,
yeah.
this happened day before yesterday, and that from there only this idea of doing this podcast, or this is not essentially a podcast. This is essentially going to be a storytelling session, maybe. So this idea essentially came into my mind from the fact I felt something. I felt something in my home. So for पहले I want to address the thing about Hanuman Chalisa. कि Hanuman Chalisa, it lulls your senses in a positive way. Chanting the Hanuman Chalisa, what it does is it hardens you. It hardens you in a way that you cannot feel the uh, other spiritual beings which are around you. If I am I making sense? When there's an apparition, there's a ghost, and since you are a bit weak on the inside, you can maybe sense it on the periphery. You can sense something, a shiver down your spine, something you are feeling. The moment you are reading the Hanuman Chalisa, what it does is it hardens your spiritual self. It hardens it, and nothing can latch onto you anymore. These spiritual beings cannot touch you anymore, and you cannot feel shit anymore. So this is a good thing uh, for people out there who don't want to face these things. So that's why every time somebody is in trouble or somebody has an issue with some spiritual horror or paranormal thing, they recite the Hanuman Chalisa for that reason. Ki harden me in a way ki I don't feel these problems anymore. The vibrations, it's essentially a song. Hanuman Chalisa is essentially a song. And the song's vibrations are made in a way, are charged in a way, if I may use that word, in a way that uh, it hardens you and it fills you with a kind of positivity that repels the other energies that are around you.
Sources, yeah, energy
Sources of other
sources.
forms of energy, which are not
Yeah,
positive. ठीक है?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that is what the Hanuman Chalisa does. So when I told you ki do the Hanuman Chalisa, I was doing the Hanuman Chalisa as well. I used to chant the Hanuman Chalisa on a regular basis and multiple times, which essentially what it did was it lulled my senses to a bit. Earlier, the people who know me, I have told them as well, say, I can at times feel things. If there is something, I can like just step inside. Like some people in my life know this. So if I'm stepping into some place and I get chills, I get something, I know something is there. And those sensations completely left me when I started reciting the Hanuman Chalisa. I couldn't feel anything anymore, which is bad from a spiritual point of view. Reading the Hanuman Chalisa made me stronger, made me fearless in a way, but then it also took away my senses. So what I did is
Understood.
I reduced my Hanuman Chalisa a bit. I do still recite it maybe once a week, twice a week. I do recite it, but then I have reduced it drastically. Where I was reading in a day maybe 5 to 9 times, I am not reciting it at all in a day. Maybe twice a week or once a week. Okay? That's when I feel like it. It's not a regular routine for me anymore. I what I felt is firstly I need to mention there is something called the Pitri Paksh. Pitri Paksh, you know about the Pitri Paksh? There is a Devi Paksh and the Pitri Paksh. So Devi Paksh is supposed to start from tomorrow. Tomorrow is Mahalaya.
Yeah, I know Mahala is tomorrow, but I
Uh,
don't know like Pitri Paksha or
so
Devi Paksha.
Mahalaya say it marks the starting of the Devi Paksh when the time of the Devi starts. at that point of time you start like the Navratri starts. Okay. So before that, right before that, there's a Pitri Paksh. Pitri Paksh, what is a Pitri Paksh? Is essentially when you uh, pray to your ancestors. Like the ancestral energy is said to be very high around this period. Like a time, what people do is they feed the crows, they feed the pigeons, feed fishes, feed dogs, feed cows. They usually feed these animals, and in a way, they feel like they are uh, uh, reaching out to their ancestors. They are trying to please their ancestors. Uh, and apparently, it's said these ancestral energy is very strong. Like there can be some ancestors who have not achieved the light, as we call it. They have not moved on from this life. There are some wandering souls or some residual energy which becomes active around this period of time. Okay. So what I felt is it was around 3:30 at night. I was studying. Okay. My exams are on Sunday. So I was studying. And what I felt is I felt a certain tickling sensation on my leg. Okay, I'm telling you what I was doing. Maybe think of me sitting on this bed, but this bed is very small. ठीक है, think of it as a bit larger. ठीक है, and think of it as कि मेरा पैर पूरा ऊपर रह सकता है इसके. ठीक है, so मैं एक पैर के ऊपर एक पैर रख के I'm sitting and I'm on my laptop and everything is dark around. Mom is sleeping. I'm working on my laptop. I'm listening to current affairs के videos so that I can like memorize them quicker. ठीक है. What I felt at it was exactly around 3:30. I felt a tickling sensation and which then felt like somebody is there standing in front of my leg. And immediately the memory flashed into my mind. Ki back then I did not used to live in this house. Back then
Okay.
I used to live in a building opposite from here, and
Right.
and that's the building where I lost my grandmother. And my
So the
grandmother,
building where you used to live in previously.
yeah, it is somewhere
Right.
opposite to this building. Okay, it's close by,
Right.
but it's opposite to this building, and that's where I lost my grandmother. So she used to love me dearly. What I felt is what she used to do when I was younger is I used to do something on the bed, maybe working on my laptop or reading a book, or maybe sleeping, in fact, and she used to stand in front of my leg and she used to grab onto my leg. I was very young back then, maybe 6 years old. Okay. And around five, I was like 7 years old, or maybe a bit older, 9 years old, maybe when I lost my grandmother. I don't exactly remember the time span because there's at a certain point of time there's the defense mechanism working as well, which makes me
Yeah, you
forget
tend to forget things. Yeah.
that have like caused some sort of sadness in your life. You tend to forget things like that. So I clearly remember she used to do this when I was that young, like 6, 7, 8 years old. She used to stand in front of my feet and she used to grab me. And I used to be like, chhado na, chhado na. I used to be like that. And I felt like she was doing this to me. Like she was doing
Sweet.
exactly what she did back then. And it was definitely a female presence that I felt. And
Okay.
it was a soothing presence. It did not want anything from me. It was just there. And I just kept
Okay.
my legs there. I did not move my legs away.
And it kept doing it.
After a point of time, it just disappeared. It was for maybe a
Okay.
second or two, I felt it. But then,
Okay.
even after that, I did not move my legs away. But that memory flashed into my head that this is what used to happen.
Uh-huh.
So,
Sweet.
that is the incident that happened, which got me thinking, how about I do a storytelling session? Because I know for a fact, uh, Ritik has some incidents that he would like to share. There's something that Samik also wants to share. He said he's gonna be back
Okay.
home in by Sunday. So I said, okay, let's do something on Sunday. So I think there's going to be a lot of
The thing
content.
is, I am probably not the best to for at least like ghost or like spooky content because honestly, I have not really faced anything. In a
No, it's
way,
all right.
I have,
It's in a way
I
just
have.
sharing awareness among the people, whatever little you have failed,
It's cool.
so that everybody knows that things are happening. It's not something
Yeah.
that can be completely be like debunked कि नहीं भाई भूत बोल के कुछ नहीं होता है. There are some paranormal, some parapsychological elements that are happening in the society around us,
Mhm.
and which is faced by people who are very close to us. So for that, I'm starting
Exactly.
this. I will probably have 5 to 6 episodes of this, uh, and
इसके
with
बाद
that, उसके बाद I plan on more things. Don't worry. I plan on making content properly from now on. So देखा जाक how things goes. Anyway, so with that, that was it from our side for today. I have more stories. I have more instances that I would like to share with you guys. But then if I am just the only one talking with you guys, it's not gonna be very interesting. That's why I want other people sharing their instances, and maybe I can share one of my instances along with them, which is going to make the sessions more interesting. So that is my idea here. So if you guys liked what you saw today, what you heard today, do give it a thumbs up, do subscribe to my channel, because I plan on seriously doing 5 more of these episodes. And if you guys want to hear what else I have faced, or what my friends have faced, uh, what my father has faced, to be like exact, because he has faced a lot of things, do subscribe to the channel, and we'll be back soon. So with that, that was my session with Shomo. Jojo, he's gonna be back for more podcasts after this, but he's not gonna be alone. Probably there are going to be other people along with him. So with that, that is goodbye from our side, and we'll see you. I will see you in the next one. Bye.